Hey there, and welcome to Conversations with Coaches. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jennifer Tamborski. I am a digital marketing strategist and the CEO at Virtual Marketing Experts. We're a digital marketing company that specializes in working with business owners who have a desire to make an impact on the world through their coaching, courses, and consulting services. We help them to accelerate their business and scale their impact. You see, I truly believe coaches have the ability to change the world, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I created Conversations with Coaches to help them get their message out there. Today, I am super excited to have Derlene join us. Derlene, tell our audience a little bit about who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
All right, well, I am Derlene Hirtz. I am an NLP trained master coach and trainer. And I think of myself as a mindset strategist for life and business, working with business entrepreneurs and professionals. And I guess my ideal candidate for what I do is a business owner, entrepreneur, professional who gets that standing still gets you nowhere. They're feeling stuck in their business, in their life at some point. And I know what goes on in the personal shows up in the professional. And I like to help them move past that so they can then go out and do their own transforming of the world.
I am so excited. So full disclosure, y'all, Derlene has helped me go through the full NLP training process, which I completely love. I can't tell you how beneficial it has been into my life and my business. So, Derl, give them a little bit of an idea of what NLP is and how it can really help shift your mindset.
So NLP is, I'm going to tell you sort of like the science version and then the Derlene version. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
So NLP is neuro-linguistics programming, and the neuro is our mind, our neurology, and our linguistics, our verbal and nonverbal communication. And then our programming is putting that all together and how we show up in the world. And I also like to talk about that programming as being part of that programming that we learned as children. Because that programming that we learned as children, we bring right straight into our adulthood. The difference is that most people don't know it or don't recognize it until they do, or they go through their whole life. But I will tell you my experience with NLP is that, I believe that we're all born perfect and pure and holy and just these gorgeous beings upon our birth. And in no time at all, the world gets their hands on us, right? And it starts, we start projecting who we believe the world wants us to be. And NLP, through its techniques and its learnings and its timeline therapy, all of that gets us back closer to who we were designed to be in the first place. That is what NLP is.
That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I know people, when they're thinking about business and growing a business and all of that kind of thing, a lot of people focus on the do's, right? I do this, I do that, I do the other thing. And sometimes they forget that the number one thing that's going to get your business growing is your mindset. So can you tell us a little bit about, how mindset plays into your life and your business?
So knowing what I know, I will tell you that mindset plays 100% in your life and business across the board. It is so interesting how we focus on the exterior, right? How do we say we upgrade our computers, we upgrade our phones, we upgrade our wardrobes, our cars, all that external stuff. And all of that is great for, 10 minutes, right?
Right.
And then we're back to wanting the bigger car or the better outfit or, fill in the blank, the newest phone. And yet all our heart, our mind, our body, our soul is seeking is the external, is the mindset, is getting that straightened out. And people, I can tell you how many people start a direct sales company and then move on to another one and move on, always looking for that success. Oh, this is going to be my product. Oh, this is it. And yet they're doing the same thing over and over again, right? What's the definition of insanity?
Absolutely.
Same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And that's never going to work, because that's not how, that we cannot get to tomorrow with the mind that got us to today. So just
so true. That is so true. So I know you have this term that I've fallen in love with, which is your mindset mistress.
My mindset mistress.
I know, it's awesome. But tell us what that means. What is your mindset mistress?
So your mindset mistress is, well, let's just talk about what a mistress is first, okay? So, you know, back in the 1800s, the mistress of the house. She ran the house. She told you what to wear. She told you when to be somewhere. She told you what to eat, how to look, all of that, right? So she ran your life. And today we look at a mistress in a society of a woman who is wedging her life in between your regularly scheduled life, right? She is wanting to take over your family perhaps, or take over your life, whatever that looks like. And so when we think about that in terms of mindset mistress, it is exactly what our negative self-talk, our unconscious mind reveals to us. We've called it the itty bitty shitty committee, the gremlins, the annoying negative thoughts. Well, for me, it's our mindset mistress. And as she runs rampant, our life seems to get off course.
Yeah.
So I began calling it the mindset mistress because that made a lot of sense to me. And how do we get back to being the mistress of our own life, right?
I love that. And I love the separate definitions, right? There's the mistress back in the day in the 1800s that really did run your life. And then nowadays it's not the same, right? It's not the same kind of mistress. It's those, they're inserting themselves, and understanding that mindset mistress, you get to control the mistress, right?
Yep. And she's going to do her job, right? She's going to do what she can to mess it all up for us. That's just that once again, that's where that programming from our imprint years steps in. You know, we were given during our imprint years, which we call our 0 to 7 years, we were taught how to react to anger, sadness, fear, hurt, love, joy, happiness, any emotion whatsoever. And what we fail to see is that we bring that right into our life and right into our businesses.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely is a huge thing especially when it comes to business. I know my business did not accelerate and succeed until I started working on my mindset, right? I tried to do all of the things.
Check off list.
Right? Exactly. They give you that checkoff list of all of the things that you're supposed to do, and that's going to make you successful. But in reality, it's when we control our thoughts and our mind, that's when we actually get to step into that next level.
Yeah, I call that like the 3 A's, right? Awareness, acknowledge, action. And so I'll give you just a prime example of what just happened to me fairly recently. I was I was in a training and was just kind of thinking about training and my future and all of that. And that night when I went home, all of a sudden this memory popped back into my head about when I was a kid and growing up in the military. And my dad was what was an NCO, so he was a non-commissioned officer. And it just so happened that we lived directly across the street from the officers' kids. And my mom, now understand, this is my perception of what my mom said. Okay, this is how my neurology stored this. Was said like, oh, those are the rich kids over there. Those are the ones who get all the chances in the world. They get to go to college. They get the best of the best. They are going to have much more success in life because they've got money. And in that moment, my neurology stored, I am not worthy. I don't deserve to make the money. I could give you the list, right? The Mindset Mistress. Oh, she was reminding me. Thank you very much. Not thank you. And so it was like that awareness, right? I call that the aha moment, right? And then I acknowledged it. I thought, you know, that makes me really, really curious, because then I feel like we get to make a decision. You know, are we going to use that as an excuse for our success of not being successful, or are we going to, what we say, be at cause, right? So when we're at cause for something, that leads us directly to a willingness to learn it, to grow from it, and to move on past it, right? Or I could have stayed in effect, you know, just always making excuses and reasons why I shouldn't achieve whatever it is that I would call my dream. And so once I did that acknowledgement, because I was very curious, that's how I've trained myself now, right? I realized, so here comes that other choice between acknowledgement and action. You get to make a choice: stand in your power or sit in your shit. I mean, how else can you say that, right?
I love that.
And so I decided to stand in my power and take some action around that. And really, after acknowledging that learning and my willingness to move past it and through it, I truly believe that I am capable of anything and everything that I want. And now it is designing that, right? And it was the greatest gift, my mom saying that, and my neurology storing it like that.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that people tend to misunderstand or forget about is that we can reprogram all of those things, all of the things that have gone. A lot of people have this belief that it happened in my childhood, so it's just a part of me, so I just need to learn to live with it. And reality is that we get to reprogram all of that.
Yeah, I would think that's almost the biggest travesty of all, is us believing that because something happened to us, not for us. Huge difference, right? All the things that have happened to us really happened for us. It was a lesson for us to learn. As you and I have talked about many times, our growth is never standing on the mountaintop. Never. Our growth is always in the valley.
Yeah.
And once we seek fertilization, right? Once we seek that, then we can climb out of the valley with renewed hope, determination, you know, fill in the blank, whatever that is for you. Yeah. And then we can celebrate on top of the mountain.
The celebration is the top of the mountain, I think. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. So for those business owners out there now who are stuck, right? They're stuck at a point in their business, whether that's from fear or from lack of knowledge or from whatever, fill in the blank, whatever that is. What would you suggest to them?
So the first thing that I would suggest is actually honor that feeling. You know, don't, I know for years I used to say, oh my gosh, I should be able to handle this, or just toss it away. And guess what happens when you toss it away? It comes back knocking again, maybe with a different experience, maybe with a different face, maybe with a different personality, but it always comes back knocking. So if a business owner is feeling stuck, or feeling like they can't get anywhere, or feeling like they're doing all the things, then the first thing I'm going to tell them is step into it and then seek a way to move past it. Because as we always say in my business, if you're part of the problem, you can't be part of the solution. And that includes your family, your close friends, because really reality is when people want to quote unquote help you, your hearts are involved in that, right?
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to do is hurt somebody who is struggling. So you can't really do the hard, honest questions and maybe even the pushing that you need to do in order for them to move past it. And that's really why the Train Your Brain for Success Bootcamp is designed, is to really help business owners, professionals, entrepreneurs to really get out of their way so they can get on their way. and really start creating the success in their life that they deserve.
Yeah.
We all deserve that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what a Christmas gift to give to yourself right now, right? A way to step into 2021, because let's be honest, for a lot of people, 2020 was a shit show. And for those that are ready to step out of that and into 2021 with a whole new look at life, what a gift that is to give yourself right now. So,
Oh, 100%. You know, when I was thinking, when you were talking about that, when you said shit show, that once again is another opportunity for a mindset shift, right?
yeah,
Because I will tell you, 2020 has been the greatest awakening of my life.
it's
And I
been
thought,
fantastic for me. Yeah.
yeah, and I thought I was on it, right? And then this thing called COVID hits, and it's like, okay, so I'm opening my eyes even wider now, right?
Yes. Yes.
And it truly has been an awakening for me. And so I know for me, 2021 is going to be amazing because I have chosen to awaken,
Yeah.
right? For those who have chosen to swirl around in the shit show, as we say, then, you know, 2021 is not going to look any better for them because they're dragging that crap right into 2021 with them.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's one thing 2020 revealed to a lot of people, right? You have a choice, right? You can either swirl in the shit or you can make a choice to change and adapt and pivot and, you know, make your life better in whatever way that looks like for you. So
Yeah.
making that choice now, I think is really.
Yes, definitely. And how many times, and this is for my own family as well, we are so tired of receiving quote unquote things. What do we really need? I can tell you there is nothing that I really need in my life. And I had this conversation with my daughter-in-law a couple of weeks ago. She's like, I'm all about the experiences. I'm all about the experiences. Well, wouldn't it be cool if you gave yourself a personal investment experience to where it truly shows up, and as you can well attest to, it shows up within 48 hours of you showing up at work the next time. If you come on, it's on a Saturday, by the time you go to work to Monday, everything just looks different to you.
It does. It absolutely does. Within 6 weeks, my whole life and business had changed, like insanely changed. And I found, well, you find yourself, right? You have that access to yourself, and you're able to shift that in doing that. So yeah, the boot camp is just amazing to get in control of that mindset mistress, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And you have a lot of aha moments, and let's just be real, a couple of oh shit moments. and then you begin seeing the possibilities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so cool, is that you're in a room full of people who are like-minded. They are wanting to grow, you know, and for whatever reason that they've been sitting on, they're ready to at least explore the possibility of living without excuses and living within possibilities, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love watching people just kind of do the aha, like, oh my gosh, you know, I hadn't thought about that. I didn't know that, whatever that is. And it is really an amazing day to offer yourself. Yeah.
So before we wrap up, other than boot camp, because I'm going to tell you all that's an amazing experience, but other than boot camp, do you have a tip for our audience to start shifting their mindset, to start getting control of that mindset mistress?
I guess the biggest tip that I would offer would be that understand you alone, no one else. You and you alone are in control of your life. And we cannot control all the things that go on around us, but we do control our reaction to them.
Yes.
We do get to do that.
Yeah.
And that just makes all the difference in the world. And I think that's my number one tip, is acknowledging that I am in control. And sometimes you want to go, yeah, I'm in control. But you really don't want to admit it, right? Reality is you are in control.
Yes, the one thing that you can control is your own reactions and
Yep.
how you react to your environment.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
you're right, you can't control 2020, you can't control COVID, you can't control all of the things that have gone on in the past year or so,
Yeah.
and you can control how you react to them.
Yeah, 100%. I
So
love
for
it.
those in our audience that are interested in joining you at Bootcamp, can you give them a little information about how they can go about doing that?
Yes, you can sign up at youempoweredservices.com/bootcamp. This is going to be, thanks to our little friend that showed up in March, COVID, this is going to be virtual, and no worries there. You just have to make a commitment to yourself to block off that time, right? And it is on December the 12th, starting at 9 a.m. Central Time. And it will run, I think it runs 9 to 2, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason why I'm kind of going back and forth is because our live, we know it's exactly 6 hours. But when it's virtual, it's a lot different. And I don't remember specifically the amount of time. But you can go to youempoweredservices.com/bootcamp and you can get yourself registered. It will be, I feel very comfortable in saying this, it will be the best investment that you've made in yourself all year long. So why not
Awesome.
do it and start out 2021 rocking it?
I can champion that all day long. Everybody should step into this experience. And yes, I am saying that from someone who's gone through the entire experience. It's amazing to be able to do. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I really look forward to seeing all of you at Bootcamp or on the next Conversations with Coaches. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you.